wants me for its own. It hates you. It hates what you are and what you do. And
yeah, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do. It wants me for your own. And if it hates you, then maybe you can help me. So that's kind of fascinating. That's a very fascinating statement in and of itself right there. So that almost implies that it specifically is trying to work against the Magnus Archive Institute in and of itself. There's something more going on with the Institute, perhaps. And whatever this entity creature is wants to stop the Institute from doing what it's doing. What's going on, everybody? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're at and whenever you're watching this. We're going to be jumping into some more Magnus Archives today. We're going to check out episode 32, Hive, which I can only imagine what this one's going to be about with what's been going on in the episodes recently with all the worms and them kind of been, you know, getting invaded in the actual Magnus Archives HQ. And everything that's been going on with Martin and Sasha, etc. So I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting episode. But links, as always, will be down below in the description to the Rusty Quill Podcast YouTube channel, to their website, and to the Magnus Archives playlist. So please do me a favor, if you enjoy this video, if you've been enjoying any of the Magnus Archives videos so far, please do me a favor, go to their YouTube channel, like all the videos that you've enjoyed, check out their website, check out their Patreon, check out their YouTube memberships to see if there's any kind of ways that you would be interested in giving them some extra love and support. They definitely deserve it. This has been a great series so far. I've been really enjoying going through it, so please check all that stuff out. You can do the same for my channel if you would like to. There's a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I have to offer. You can check those out if you would like to. There's also a lot of playlists on the channel for other universes that you can check out. I've got you know, reactions to Warhammer 40k, the SCP Foundation, Backrooms, etc. So you can check those out if any of that would have any interest for you. Regardless, thank you guys for coming in and taking time out of your busy day and schedule to check out the video. Greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, consider leaving a like and a sub. That helps me and the channel grow. All right, with all of the YouTube plugs and whatnot's done, let's get into this. This is episode 32 of the Magnus Archives, Hive. Do it. Ominously stringing, ominously strings are stringing ominously. Beach to it. Beach to it.
Rusty Quill presents
The
Magnus Archives.
The Magnus Archives.
Episode 32.
32.
Hive.
statement of Jane Prentiss
Oh.
regarding
Oh.
a wasp's nest in her
Interesting.
attic. Original statement given February 23rd, 2014. Audio recording by Jonathan Sims.
So 2016 is present time. This was done in 2014. So is this before she was turned into what she currently is?
Head Archivist of the Magnus Institute, London. Statement begins.
Boy, he's sounding a little depressed about this one, huh? He doesn't really sound like he's going to enjoy this.
I itch all the time. Deep beneath my skin, where the bone sits, enshrined in flesh, I feel it. Something, not moving, but that wants to move, wants to be free. It itches, and I don't think I want it. I don't know what to do. You can't help me. I don't think so, at least, but whatever it is that calls to me, that wants me for its own, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do, and if it hates you, then maybe you can help me. If I want.
So I don't know the timeline, right, of when Gertrude died and became and John became the new head archivist, right? So I'm wondering, is she talking to Gertrude here? Or I would assume so, right? Because you would think if this was John taking the statement originally, he would have remembered this, you know? So interesting, like her words here. I kind of want to rewind that and listen to that a little bit again.
At least, but whatever it is, it itches, and I don't think I want it. I don't know what to do. You can't help me.
That's what I
I
thought.
don't think so, at least, but whatever it is that calls to me, that wants me for its own, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do, and if it hates you, then maybe you can help me.
See, that right there is very interesting statement. It hates you. It hates what you are. All right,
Wants me for its own, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do. And
yeah, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do. It wants me for your own. And if it hates you, then maybe you can help me. So that's kind of fascinating. That's a very fascinating statement in and of itself, right there. So that almost implies that it specifically is trying to work against the Magnus Archive Institute in and of itself. There's something more going on with the Institute, perhaps. And whatever this entity creature is wants to stop the Institute from doing what it's doing.
if it hates you, then maybe you can help me. If I wanted to be helped. I don't know if I do. You must understand it sings so sweetly, and I need it. But I am afraid. It isn't right, and I need help. I need it to be seen. To be seen in the cold light of knowledge is anathema to the things that crawl and slither and swarm in the corners and the cracks, in the pitted holes of the hive. You can't see it, of course. It isn't real. Not like you or I are real. It's more of an everywhere. A feeling. Are you familiar with trypophobia? That disgusted fear at holes, irregular, honeycombed holes, makes you feel that itch in the back of your mind, like the holes are there too in your own brain, rotten and hollow and swarming. Is that real? I'm sorry, I know I'm meant to be telling you what happened, what brought me to this place of books and learning, of sight and beholding. I'm sorry. I should. I will. I haven't slept in some time.
I would say so.
Sleep. My dreams are crawling and many-legged, not just slithering and burrowing, though it is the burrowing that draws me. They always sing that song of flesh. I hope you will forgive me for such a rambling story. I hope you will forgive me for a great many things, as it may be I do worse. I have that feeling, that instinct that squirms through your belly. There will be great violence done here, and I bleed into that violence. Do you know, I wonder, as I watch you sitting there through the glass, eating a sandwich, do you know?
It sounds like she's almost in like an isolation room giving this. I see you sitting there through the glass eating a sandwich. I can just imagine this here too. Like Gertrude is just like unfazed by all this, just like whatever, just keep talking. your insane little ramblings. I'm enjoying my little tuna sandwich here. You know what I'm saying?
Where you are? You called me dear. Have a seat, dear. You can write it down, dear. Take as much time as you need, dear. Can you truly know the danger you are in?
So that almost sounds like a threat right there, too.
There is a wasp's nest in my attic. A fat, sprawling thing that crouches in the shadowed corner. It thrums with life and malice. I could sit there for hours watching the swirls of pulp and paper on its surface. I have done. It is not the patterns that enthrall me. I'm not one of those fools chasing fractals, no. It's what sings behind them.
It's interesting, too, that statement right there. I'm not one of those fools chasing fractals. And that also kind of goes back to some of the previous episodes with like people seeing patterns, like one with Graham or whatever, where the girl was watching him from across the street. She got into his apartment and the table was making her like see spirals or something like that, from what I can remember. That's also an interesting little tidbit there.
Sing.
It's almost like she's admitting that she's aware of other beings, people, entities that are also playing in whatever game is going on. And yeah, she's just not interested in certain aspects of it, I guess, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of a fascinating statement.
It's what sings behind them. Sings that I am beautiful. Sings that I am a home. That I can be fully consumed by what loves me. I don't know how long the nest has been there. It's not even my house, I just live there. Some sweaty old man thinks he owns it, taking money for my presence as though it will save him. I used to worry about it, you know. I remember before the dreams I would spend so long worrying about that money, about how I could afford to live there. Now I know that whatever the old man thinks, as he passes about the house with brow crinkled and mouth puckered in disapproval, it is not his. It has 1,000 truer owners who shift and live and sing within the very walls of the building. He does not even know about the wasp's nest. I wonder how long he has not known. How many years it has been there. Have you ever heard of the filarial worm? Mosquitoes gift
Can't
it
say
with
that I
their
have.
kiss, and it grows and grows. It stops water moving round the human body, right? Makes limbs and bellies swell and sag with fluid. Now when I look at that fat, sweaty sack, I think about it. And the voice sings of showing him what a real parasite can do. How many months has it been like this? Was there a time before? There must have been. I remember a life that was not itching, not fear, not nectar-sweet song.
That's kind of interesting that she just said that too. I remember a life of not interesting, not fear, and something about a song. So it's interesting that she's like afraid of what's going on with her, but she's also embracing it at the same time, it seems, right? It's almost kind of like a drug, I guess, right? In some ways, it sounds like she's like an addicted person, right? Like she's afraid of what it's going to do to her, but she needs whatever it's doing to her to happen. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good comparison or not.
I had a job. I sold crystals. They were clean and sharp and bright, and they did not sing to me, though I sometimes said they did.
I wonder if that has any other kind of meaning too. She sold crystals. I mean, I wonder if that has some kind of tie-in with the Magnus Archives in some way, right? If she was selling something that might have had an effect on some of these entities, perhaps, and that's maybe why she was attacked. I don't know.
We would would sell the stones to smiling young couples with color in their hair. I remember, before I found the nest, someone new came. His name was Oliver, and he would look at
Oliver?
me so strangely, not with lust or affection or contempt, but with sadness. Such a deep sadness.
I don't remember the statement giver's name, the one who could see people who were about to die, but I wonder if that's him. And if he sees what's going to happen to her, and that's why he has that look of sadness.
And once with fear. It didn't matter, because no one in the shop wanted to hear about the ants below it. I tried to tell them to explain, but they did not care. The pretty young things complained, and I left. That was when I still called myself a witch. Wicca and paganism. I would spend my weekends at rituals by the Thames. I wanted something beyond myself, but
Well,
could
you
not
got it.
stomach the priest or the imam or punjari of the churches. I knew better. I knew that it was not so simple as to call out to well-trodden gods. I never felt from my rituals anything except exhaustion and pride. I thought that those were my spiritual raptures. I wish, deep inside, below the itch, that they were still my raptures. I have touched something now, though, that all my talk of ley lines and mother goddesses could never have prepared me for. It is not a god. Or if it is, then it is a dead god. Decayed and clammy corpse flesh, brimming with writhing grave worms.
That's getting into some, eldritch, bloodborne, Lovecraftian stuff there. Very much is giving me like Orphan of Kos. Kind of feels, the dead body of Kos is sitting there on the beach. Yeah.
When did I first hear it? It wasn't the nest, I'm sure of that. I never went in the attic. It was locked and I didn't have a key. I spent a day sawing through the padlock with an old hacksaw. My hands were blistered by the end. Why would I have done that if I didn't know what I would find? The face of the one who sang to me, dwelling within the hidden darkness above me. I had seen no wasps. I know I hadn't. There are no wasps in the nest. So how else would I have known that I needed to be there, to be in the dark with it, if it had not already been singing to me? No, that's not right. The nest does not sing to me. It is simply the face, not the whole face. For the whole of the hive is infinite, an unending plane of wriggling forms swarming in and out of the distended pores and honeycombed flesh. The nest is nothing but paper. Was it the spiders? There were webs in the corners around the entryway into the attic. I would watch them scurry and disappear in between the wooden boards. Where are you going, little spiders? I would think. What are you seeing in the dark? Is it food? Prey? Predators? I wondered if it was the spiders that made the gentle buzzing song, but it was not. Webs have a song as well, of course, but it is not the song of the hive. I used to pick at my skin. It was a compulsion. I would spend hours in the bathroom staring as close as I could get to my face in the mirror, searching for darkened pores to squeeze and watch the congealed oil worm its way out of my skin.
Yummy!
Often I would end with swollen red marks where it had become inflamed with irritation or infection. Did I hear the song then? Was it when I was a child? Such a clear memory of a classmate telling me a blackhead was a hole in my face, and if I didn't keep it clean it would grow and rot. Did I hear it then? As that image lodged in my mind forever.
Interesting, right? She's almost kind of like wondering if her current fate, I guess, where she's at in life, was it predetermined, essentially? Was she always destined to be this way? Did she hear this song ever since she was a child? and just kind of played her part up until this moment. That's kind of interesting. And I mean, it does kind of bring up another fascinating subject potentially in the Magnus Archives, right? How much does fate play into what's happening to a lot of these people? If fate is even a thing in the Magnus Archives universe, it hasn't necessarily been something that has been brought up, that like people are predetermined that certain things are going to happen to them or not, right? So, but that's just something that I find kind of interesting that you're bringing up here.
Or was it last year? Passing by a strip of green they call a park near my house after the rain, and watching 100 worms crawl and squirm to the surface. Perhaps I've always heard it. Perhaps the itch has always been the real me, and it was the happy, smiling Jane who called herself a witch and drank wine in the park when it was sunny. Maybe it was her who was the maddened delusion that hides the sick, squirming reality of what I am, of what we all are when you strip away the pretense that there is more to a person than a warm, wet habitat for the billion crawling things that need a home, that love us in their way. I need to think, to clear my head, to try and remember, but remember what? I was lonely before, I know that. I had friends, at least I used to. But I lost them, or they lost me. Why was it?
I feel like you probably turned them into little worm hives. I'm just saying.
I remember shouting recriminations, and I was abandoned. No idea why. The memories are a blur. I do remember that they called me toxic. I don't think I really knew what that meant, except that it was the reason that I was so painfully lonely. Was that it? Was I swayed and drawn simply by the prospect of being genuinely loved? Not loved as you would understand it. A deeper, more primal love, a need as much as a feeling, love that consumes you in all ways. You can't help me. I'm sure of that now. I have tried to write it down, to put it into terms and words you could understand, and now I stare at it, and not a word of it is even enough to fully describe the fact that I itch.
Again, right? Like, I'm just imagining, because of what she said earlier, that she's writing all this out so passionately and describing everything so vividly, and Gertrude just on the other side of this like glass pane, just like eating a tuna sandwich, not caring at all. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't know, just that image is making me chuckle to myself. Anyway,
Because itch is not the right word. There is no right word, because for all your institute and ignorance may laud the power of the word, it cannot even stretch to fully capture what I feel in my bones. What possible recourse could there be for me in your books and files and libraries except more useless ink and dying letters? I see now why the Hive hates you. You can see it, and log it, and note its every detail, but you can never understand it.
so yeah, I mean, that is kind of fascinating, right? Like, she had said earlier, she was talking about how, certain insects want to be kept out of sight. They crawl and squirm and wriggle in the darkness and cracks and corners of the unseen, or something along those lines. So it would make sense, right, that an institute like the Magnus Archives Institute, that tracks, follows, and whatever statements like this, and pays attention to the supernatural and potential entities like this, that it would hate them and not want them to have eyes on it at all. It would very much make sense that that's why it's unhappy with them, paying attention to it.
Of its fear, even though your weak words have no right to do so. I do not know why the Hive chose me, but it did. think that it always had. The song is loud and beautiful, and I am so very afraid.
It's also interesting, right? Like, I'm wondering, what episode was it? I don't remember what episode it was, but there was an episode where one of the statement giver went into like a church, and it was all completely dark, couldn't see anything, and then there was singing going on. It was the one where his girlfriend's roommate like became a cultist, right? And he went to go, like, I guess, confront her. And then yeah, he went into like this chapel, and it was completely dark, and he got lost in the darkness, and he heard a bunch of singing, and then, eventually he found his cell phone and turned on the light and was able to escape. I wonder if there is some kind of connection between that and the singing going on there, and also kind of what she's talking about, or if it's just complete coincidence or has no connection whatsoever. It makes me wonder if there is some kind of connection between them.
There is a wasp's nest in my attic. Perhaps it can soothe my itching soul. Statement ends. This is, excuse me, reading that was,
Right.
While I am pleased that we have found the statement that Prentiss gave the Institute, it answers far fewer of our questions than I would have hoped, and gives us little new information about her than we had before, save for a snapshot of her mental condition before her hospital admission. We were already aware of her religious history and her breakdown over an ant infestation that apparently led to her termination from her work at the Good Energies spiritual supplies shop in Archway.
Good Energy Spiritual Supply Shop. I don't think anything about that's been brought up before, but it makes me wonder if there's some kind of connection between that. I wonder if there's also a connection either between that shop or her and Jared Key's mom, because wasn't Jared Key's mom supposedly like some kind of witch or something? She mentioned that she was a witch. I don't know. It makes me wonder if there's some other kind of connection with that as well. I'm telling you, it's like I said, man, I'm turning into that meme of what's his name from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Just the lines going everywhere.
The wasp's nest is interesting. The paramedics' report claims that when they and the police responded to reports of screaming at Ms. Prentiss's flat on Prospero Road, they found her in a loft space, passed out, with her forearm buried up to the elbow in pulped organic matter. This could indeed have been a wasp's nest, I suppose, but no nearby residents reported to have seen any wasps in the area. Unfortunately, it could not be examined further, as later that night there was a fire that completely destroyed the flat and killed the landlord, Arthur Nolan. The fire service determined he had fallen asleep with a lit cigarette due to the fact that he was found sitting in the remains of an armchair with no sign he had made any attempt to escape. Ms. Prentiss was taken to the emergency department at Whittington Hospital, but she was already showing signs of the infestation that would characterize her later appearances. 6 hospital staff were attempting to treat and sedate her when many of the worms were violently expelled from her body. They quickly burrowed through the soft tissue of the medical personnel,
Yummy.
eyes, tongue, etc., and into the brain, killing them after roughly a minute and a half. She then walked calmly out of the door to A&E. A nurse attempted to run, but in his panic...
Isn't that the same hospital that had the Burning Man episode or whatever in it? Right? With Jared Key and whoever was like part of the Lightless Flame. Wasn't it the same hospital? Or am I incorrect on that?
He tripped on the stairs and broke his neck. Then she was gone. The Institute was consulted, as apparently during her admission she had claimed that she was being possessed. But it was decided the situation was medical in nature, and our involvement was dropped in favor of what I can only describe as a cover-up. If we'd known about this statement, perhaps things might have been different, but...
A cover-up. That's kind of interesting. who and what would want to cover a story up like that, you know? I guess technically if the government were involved, they could potentially see her as like some kind of biological weapon that they would want to study, maybe. If we're starting to get into like government conspiracy stuff along with this, which I would be all about. I love conspiracy, stuff. So that would be interesting. But why else, would someone like want to cover this up? Again, I've been sus on Gertrude. Would she cover this up for some reason?
Here we are. Still, anyone who's familiarized themselves with her file could tell you this. We still don't have any evidence that Prentiss is actually paranormal. It could just be an unknown aggressive parasite.
I mean, it could be, but it's awfully strange that a lot of the stuff that's going on with her,
There are weird things out there that are perfectly natural.
Very true, very true.
It's not, though. I know it's not natural.
Hey, he's admitting it.
I feel it. I'm sorry. My academic detachment seems to have fled me. Something in this statement has got to me a bit. I'm going to go lie down. End recording.
Damn, this is the first time we hear John kind of spooked.
The Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by rustyquill.com and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike International License. Today's episode was written and performed by Jonathan Sims. It was produced by Alexander J. Newell and Mike LeBeau, and directed by Alexander J. Newell. To comment on episodes, make donations, and view links, images, videos, and show notes, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes, visit us on Facebook, tweet us on Twitter at The Rusty Quill, or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for such a cool show. You heard the man. Those are all the ways you can check them out. Links for all their stuff is down below in the description. The Magnus Archives playlist, the Rusty Quill Podcast YouTube channel, and to their website. So go check out their stuff. Be sure to go to their YouTube channel, like all the videos you've enjoyed, hit that sub button if you haven't already, check out their YouTube memberships, and check out their Patreon, their website, for any kind of ways you can give them some love and support if you would like to. Very fascinating episode, right? I think this is the first, statement that has been given by someone who's turned into some kind of entity that the Magnus Archive, Magnus Institute's like actively like seeking out, trying to do something against. A lot of fascinating potential ideas, concepts, whatever you want to call it in this one, right? The idea where she thinks that maybe from her earliest days that she was chosen to become what she is, which I guess would kind of make sense in a way, because at least so far, everyone else that we know that has been infected by these worms has died, right? The woman from the first statement giver, which is one of the earlier episodes, right? It was like somewhere between episode 1 and 10, I think. I don't remember exactly which one, but his statement where, he went on a date with this woman and took her back and slept with her, and then she basically like exploded and all those worms went everywhere. She obviously died. He gets infected by the worms and turns into like another hive kind of thing, but his deterioration ended up like turning him into like a still, like he basically was, what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't mobile, right? Like he was basically, he confined himself into like an old house. I wonder if it was the house that she was talking about, right? The episode where Michael took Sasha to this house and he was there as that hive, right? Like, I wonder if that was Jane Prentiss' house that she was mentioning in this. But yeah, he basically was like, he was for all intents and purposes dead. Like he was in like torment and in pain and wasn't able to function as like a human being anymore. And then she, ended up killing him with CO2 stuff. And then of course in this statement, they mentioned that the worms got into the doctors and nurses or whatever at the hospital and killed them like immediately. So it's interesting that she seems to be like a carrier of this virus, this plague, this infestation, whatever you want to call it. So it almost does seem kind of like she was chosen to be this. There's also the interesting kind of statement of the fact that this Hive entity really doesn't like the Magnus Institute and is like actively seeking to work against it. And seemingly maybe because it's simply the fact that the Magnus Archives has its eyes on them, you know, that it's taking statements and following the paranormal activities of what it's doing, and this entity just wants to be hidden from sight. It doesn't want people to know it. The other interesting thing, and I don't remember again the statement giver's name, if it was him, I think it was named Oliver is what she mentioned. The guy who looked at her and said, looked at her with sadness and then fear. I wonder if he's the guy that could see people who are about to die. And then that also makes me wonder, right, like, can he see what people are going to be like, people who are going to be affected by entities in a different way, what they're going to turn into? Because again, like, that was the episode where we saw some strange stuff happening with Gertrude, where like there were like tendrils coming off of her or going into her with like red light going into her or off of her. I don't remember exactly what, but it was something along those lines, which is what has made me kind of sus of Gertrude from, you know, since that episode. So like, I wonder if he's able to see more than just people who are about to die. He's able to see like the actual entities themselves and who they're attaching themselves to, or who they're making avatars out of or something, you know. That would be fascinating. But it's also interesting, you know, at the end that this is kind of the first statement where we hear John kind of really spooked, you know. Again, makes me think that, you know, he knows that there's more going on than what he's leading people to believe so far. So, but very fascinating episode, so getting some more background and perspective on Jane and what's going on with her and how she kind of came to be the way she is. So yeah, that was episode 32, Hive of the Magnus Archives. Like I said, links will be down below for all their stuff. Check it out if you want to. There's a link in the description, as well as a join button underneath the video, to my YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I have to offer. So if you would like to, you can check those out. If you want to take your support from my channel to the next level, there's a bunch of playlists on the channel as well for other universes that I've done reactions to. You know, obviously we're still continuing here with the Magnus Archives. We've got all the previous episodes from that up. There's Warhammer 40k, there's the SCP Foundation, got a lot of stuff done for that. Very fascinating. If you like the Magnus Archives, I would definitely recommend checking out a lot of the SCP Foundation videos. I feel like there would be a lot of interesting crossover between them. So I would definitely recommend checking those out if you haven't already, because there might be some stuff in there that's very fascinating for you guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to come in and hang out and watch it. Thank you very much for doing so. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and a sub. That helps me and the channel grow. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.